So most of you seem to really enjoy the videos where I cross over either a Marvel, a DC, or something like that into an anime. And the main one I've been kind of messing with a little bit is one of your more basic and more well-known animes, being that of My Hero Academia. Because it involves a lot of hero stuff, it involves a lot of hero workers, and there's a whole system of ranking and stuff like that. So I always thought, hey, honestly, this is kind of the perfect anime to have a crossover. So we're going to bring another character, a Marvel character, into the world of My Hero Academia, aka the Hulk, or, well, Bruce Banner. Now, I say those two very independently because both the Hulk and Bruce Banner are going to have different effects on this My Hero Academia world. Because let's just start from the beginning. The very beginning starts with Bruce Banner being your typical scientist. And I say typical very loosely because we all know Bruce Banner is very intelligent and he was working with gamma radiation and doing a lot of stuff with gamma work. But here's the thing. In this world, we can do something very similar. Maybe have Bruce Banner working with different quirks, but also maybe the effects that gamma radiation or gamma itself would have on the quirks. Nuclear radiation, from gamma to nuclear to anything you could possibly think of, he is working with it. And this would eventually lead to him gaining, well, the Hulk. And this is where things start getting very skewered, because the Hulk can be seen in two different lights. One as a hero, or one as an absolute freak of nature. We know that in the world of My Hero Academia, there are a lot of people who actually change their physical appearance. Now, it's not as simple as your typical changing appearance, of course, but it is very similar to maybe like your Ryukyu, or maybe somewhat similar to your Mount Lady. Mount Lady might only get big, but Ryukyu does turn into borderline a dragon, so you get some similarities there. But in terms of the Hulk, I could see it happening one of two ways. For one, I could see Bruce Banner kind of realizing and feeling like, hey, I want to stay Bruce Banner. I want to be this scientist. I want to be helping people all around the world. But other side of it could be, hey, this could be Bruce Banner's chance to actually be a full-fledged hero, at least using the Hulk. But the Hulk is not that controllable. In terms of Ryukyu, there's a lot for her to control. There's a lot for her to actually get down and basically maintain. But in terms of the Hulk, it's like a totally different persona. It's a totally different person. And they're not going to be just off the bat perfect for each other and perfect together, and in terms of like sequence and perfectly in sync. No. They're still going to have massive struggles, like how we have seen throughout multiple versions of the Hulk, having Bruce Banner struggling massively with dealing with the Hulk as a different persona, which is the reality that we're going to definitely be dealing with, because Bruce Banner would be trying his best to basically continue on with his studies, with his scientific research, with his experiments, but none of those things would go down very easily, especially when you have something deep inside of you, a different persona, a different person that is so massively powerful that even villains could come hunting. And that's the reality of it, is that villains could genuinely come hunting. We know the type of powers the Hulk has, the extreme strength, the regeneration, and so on and so forth. There's so much the Hulk has in terms of durability, in terms of strength, in terms of whatever you can possibly think of, and he has it all. So having these things, we could see My Hero Academia really flip on its head. And I want to start more or less with the Hulk and talk about his kind of interactions with different people, but also different heroes, but also different villains. For starters, I could see people being massively hesitant about the Hulk, especially these heroes, because the Hulk is more of a danger to society than a really help for society. Now, in terms of a massive battle, a massive thing happening at one point, maybe I could see the Hulk getting involved and actually helping a ton of people. I could see him getting involved and saving a ton of people by just destroying the threat. Like, imagine if we had the Hulk in the Gigantomachia fight, where we're in the war arc and Shigaraki has awakened powers beyond belief, or has basically been bestowed powers beyond belief, and we had the Hulk go head to head with a giant monstrosity in Gigantomachia. It would be an absolute spectacle, but it would also put basically the heroes on a better playing field than they were in the first place. Gigantomachia was basically taken down through insane planning and some insane things that every single person had to be involved in. In terms of the Hulk, though, the Hulk could cut this monstrous creature down to size practically by himself, probably allowing a lot of people there who actually died or passed on in that battle to actually survive this time around, which would be obviously beneficial. But we are dealing with a monstrous creature, so we never know how many casualties or what casualties could possibly happen. Now, onto more of the Hulk. We also are going to be dealing with possible kind of DNA or kind of anything that they might take from the Hulk. Imagine if they actually got the blood of the Hulk or the DNA of the Hulk or something like that, and it started getting embedded in people like All For One, who, by the way, would have this regenerative factor that would give him all of his strength back from basically his prime. Or someone like Shigaraki, who would get powers stacked up beyond freaking belief. At the end of the day, the Hulk would definitely have some interesting interactions and also potential game-changing interactions in general. Could he benefit the heroes so massively that everything gets halted a lot sooner? Of course. But could the Hulk's existence completely put a horrible cap on My Hero Academia? That's definitely a possibility as well. Like I said before, if the Hulk's DNA and the powers of the Hulk get somehow transferred to a different villain, to your Shigarakis, to your All For Ones, these are massive issues that could be just devastating for this universe. Because let's be blunt, well, Bruce Banner or the Hulk really is way stronger than anyone else here. The Hulk, and well, I guess it really depends on who you're talking about or which version, but most, if not every single version, will outclass the villains, the heroes, and so on and so forth. A Hulk would just destroy and decimate so much, but it also, on the other hand, would definitely put a kind of bad taste in everyone's mouths if you have the Hulk save a bunch of people, stop the villain, but it also costs the entirety of Japan basically millions and billions in how much money or how much building damage and city damage and country damage, all of those things, everything you can possibly think of. The Hulk could be kind of weighing both options, right? He's good in terms of he's helping people, but he's also bad because he's laying this waste of destruction that could be borderline just not beneficial to Japan and or the My Hero Academia universe. Maybe they believe that having the Hulk around makes it a lot worse for every single person. But it's not just the Hulk we're talking about today. We're also talking about Bruce Banner. Just like when I talked about the Hulk and the boys, this is a big aspect of having the Hulk in the universe. Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner would be absolutely a genius, intelligent beyond belief, and he could be good with everything. I mean, we have seen there's very intelligent people in My Hero Academia, and Bruce would be able to help with all of them, every single one of them. Maybe even studying quirks to basically optimize and figure out the weaknesses and strengths, but also basically helping so many different people with technology and basically gadgets and so on and so forth. I mean, we see how important people like Mei Hatsume, and this is something we talked about when Batman was in My Hero Academia, or when we talked about Batman being in My Hero, because having someone who is a scientist, who's extremely intelligent, who can really progress the society beyond even imagination is extremely important, and Bruce acting as this tech-savvy support hero while basically Hulk is that last resort powerhouse during emergencies would kind of form this amazing hero duo, even though that hero duo would be just one person. But even as just Bruce Banner, he would be able to help so many people. And I honestly think the story of the Hulk being in the universe would 1000% start with Bruce Banner. Like, for a long time, have Bruce Banner as the front runner of everything. Hulk wouldn't be that involved for a while until you had some crazy scenario that brought out the Hulk, or a crazy scenario that needed the Hulk to truly stop a life-changing and world-altering threat. Bruce would be able to allow and help these other pro heroes learn so much about their quirks. He'd be able to study so much about the biology and the existence of quirks themselves, and be able to kind of pinpoint different things that really need to be pinpointed in the first place. But he could also put his hand into the technological aspects of things. Shoot, I think Bruce Banner would be one hell of a teacher at one of the most prestigious hero high schools in Japan, being that of UA. But even if you have him in the States or in the United States, I mean, Bruce would be super beneficial over there as well. Yes, I know we don't really know that much that happens in the United States, but he could definitely improve the United States' his hero quality, could improve their technology, could improve their anything you could possibly think of, just outside of utilizing the Hulk. And this could spread to Japan, just like how I believe he would definitely be working with practically every single person in the world, basically, especially with support items, especially with just working with different technologies and so on and so forth. Because some of the people he could definitely work with, at least in terms of My Hero Academia, would be people like Izuku Midoriya, who would definitely be fascinated by not only Bruce's ability as the Hulk, but also his mind. Izuku has shown definitely a lot of things in terms of being extremely intelligent, in terms of trying to come up with plans, or how to utilize a quirk properly, or breaking down someone's quirk and how to find its weakness. All of these things Izuku is very good at, so I can see him being a really good mentor for Izuku, or Bruce Banner would be a really good mentor for Izuku, showing him restraint, and on top of that, having him basically learn how to truly control his strength. Because if we're talking about a Bruce Banner who is already kind of in tune somewhat with the Hulk, he'd definitely be able to help people with their rage and with their kind of unfortunate upbringings and stuff like that. I mean, he would hands down be able to relate to a lot of these people that either have anger problems like your Katsuki Bakugos, or have issues with family conflict or horrible broken lives like Shoto Todoroki, and the list goes on and on, right? I talked about Mei Hatsume being a beneficial person in the eyes of your Bruce Banner. Your Momo Yaoyorozu's, she's extremely intelligent, and Bruce could genuinely inspire her to collaborate on even more strategies, even more inventions, and so on. But of course, we have All Might, who I'm sure All Might would get along with the Bruce Banner side, but wouldn't necessarily get along with the Hulk side, being that the Hulk is a little bit buck wild with things and a little bit dangerous to a large extent. And we could go on to your Eraserheads or your Aizawa, Shoto Aizawa, or Shota Aizawa. And Aizawa probably would like Bruce Banner, but also would be hesitant around him, especially because we are dealing with a being that could straight up just destroy the entire world. I mean, the Hulk could run wild one day and just nobody would be able to stop him, and that would definitely not be okay. But I think Aizawa would also see the merit in Bruce's kind of knowledge in terms of how to utilize the Hulk, what he's been through with the Hulk, and so on. But overall, to wrap things up, I think if you put Bruce Banner and the Hulk in My Hero Academia, there's really two scales to truly look at. there's one scale where Bruce Banner is going to help people so much in terms of gadgets, in terms of technology, in terms of science, in terms of research, and so on. I mean, it would better the society so quickly. But we also are dealing with the Hulk, a monstrous creature that, yes, if used properly and used in proper scenarios, could help so many people survive and live and be safe. But also, if turned against the people, that he's trying to protect and trying to help, the Hulk could be the greatest enemy of the My Hero Academia universe. On top of that, if the DNA, if the blood, if the gamma powers are embedded into people like Shigaraki in terms of All For One, maybe even Nomu's, we could be talking about devastation at a global scale. Someone like Bruce Banner may be beneficial or helpful in terms of almost every aspect of hero work and also society work in terms of the My Hero Academia universe, but the Hulk himself may just put a damper on so much in My Hero Academia that it might not be worth the risk. Because the risk to reward, I mean, both are extremely high. The reward may be high, but the risk may just be that much higher. But with that said, I would love to hear what you guys have to say about the Hulk being in My Hero Academia or Bruce Banner being in My Hero Academia. I would love to hear what you guys had to say. Do you think that it would be more bad than good or more good than bad to have the Hulk or Bruce Banner in My Hero Academia? I would also love to hear different versions of the Hulk that you would like to see in My Hero Academia. Maybe you think that there's a specific version of the Hulk that could have been in My Hero Academia, or a version of the Hulk that you would love to see in the My Hero Academia universe, either to see them excel or see them be completely destroyed entirely. I know some people don't really like My Hero Academia, so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I would love to see this version of the Hulk because it would just, they would just destroy everything, right? Something like that. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, YouTube believes you'll enjoy this one, so might as well go check it out.